Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Layla and I'm here at Calypso Farm and Ecology Center, and Miss Seller's class from Discovery Peak Charter asked some really great questions about honeybees. So we are here with Tom today, and he is gonna show us how he's checking the hive right now and answer some of the awesome questions about bees.
Hello everyone. I opened up the hive here. We've got honeybees. There's about 40,000 bees in this hive. Lots of bees. These guys are drawing out comb. They're eating the sugar water and they're making comb. So this is what I give them, and they are drawing this out right here. And you'll see in a moment that after they've raised young in a frame, they get a lot darker. So let's look at this frame. This frame right here is heavy and it's got nectar or sugar water in. This is honey up here capped, so it's dehydrated nectar, and here's sugar water that I've given them that they're dehydrating into honey for the moment. They eat nectar for energy, and then a lot of the bees at the front are bringing in pollen. We'll see some pollen here. And actually, here's
Oh, I have a little bee on my hand here that has pollen on it, actually.
Yeah, and there's some pollen. So they're bringing that from the flowers as their protein. That's yummy. Okay, so here's a frame I'm pulling out full of nectar and capped honey. So all of that is dehydrated down and it will store for a long time. It won't go bad. See the very bottom over there? That's propolis. That's tree saps and plant saps that they use to stick the hive together and keep everything clean. So I'm gonna arrange this here, and we're gonna find in the middle some brood here, I think. Okay, slow and gentle movements. Oh, here are larvae in this. Can you see those white grubs in the middle? Those are larvae. And where it's capped over, that's where the larvae are metamorphosing.
Looking at the larva, one question was, how old can bees be?
So the egg is laid, and 21 days later, they will actually emerge as a worker bee. And then in the summer, the bees will only live for 2 or 3 weeks because they're working so hard. In the winter, they can last longer, but they're not flying. Flying is very energy intensive. So it beats them up. So when you're working hard, you live 3, 4, 5 weeks. In the winter, they can live months if they're just eating. Okay, let's see what we got here. Here we have brood. So I've got capped nectar here. We've got brood here, and we have drone brood here. This is males, the bigger bees that will come out as males, and they don't serve any purpose other than for reproduction. Here's a bee with some pollen on it. All right, see how much darker these cells are? This has had a lot of young raised in it. There, beautiful frame.
Awesome. We had a lot of people who were curious about how you're checking the bees right now, why you wear the bee suit, and how you don't get stung when you're checking the bees.
So bees see in different colors, and I'm wearing white, so they can't see me as well. I'm not as big of an outline. If I was wearing bright red or blue, they could really see where I am, and if they were mad, then they would be able to find me. But notice how I'm moving really slowly. And when I first opened up the hive, my smoker, I smoked the bees. And the smoke helps confuse their communication. So they communicate by smell.
So we also just looked at the larva, and someone asked, how many eggs can a queen bee lay?
Well, if you look at all these cells in there, a queen can lay about 2,000 eggs a day, when she's really going strong. So yeah, about 2,000 eggs a day. Remember, there's bees being hatched out every day, emerging every day, and dying every day. So she has to keep her colony good and strong. So when there's lots of food out, she'll do 2,000 eggs a day. Now notice the bees will walk on me and nothing wrong there. They only will sting you if they're really mad. Remember, they die when they sting you, so there's no point stinging you unless they're really mad. So what I'm going to do here is move these boxes. What other questions do we have?
Yeah, so people were curious about how we take care of them, and is it hard to raise honeybees?
It's not necessarily hard, but I'm going to move this guy back over.
Yeah, and a related question was, what happens to the bees in the winter, or do we save them through the winter?
We try to overwinter them. That's a great question. Bees are not native to North America. They're definitely not used to long winters. So it's very hard to overwinter them here in Alaska. But that's why they make their honey, is so that they can go through periods where there aren't flowers. So here we go. I've just added another box so the queen has lots of room to lay eggs.
Another question was, do bees have predators?
Good question. They have predators. Sometimes we have dragonflies coming out the front that will take the bees. Gray jays will come in and take bees. There's also mites, little parasites that will get in and hurt the bees. So our job is to keep them well fed and healthy and try to minimize loss. But the dragonflies, that's okay. They only take a few. Remember, there's 40 to 60,000 bees in this box.
And someone asked, what do the bees do, or what do they do for a living? So we're looking at a lot of the worker bees, but they have lots of different roles in the hive, right?
Yeah, there will be bees that are going to be drawing out comb. There's going to be, which means building comb. There's going to be nurse bees. There's going to be cleaning bees. And then the bees you see out the front are called foragers. And they're going out and bringing back water, nectar, pollen, and propolis. Propolis is tree saps that they stick everything together with. So even though right now I can lift this lid, tomorrow this will all be glued back down again.
And I actually don't think anyone asked this question, but maybe as a good last question, why do we have honeybees on the farm?
Well, we have them, one, for education, so we can do things like this to learn more about insects. They're here for pollination, and they're also here to make honey. So they will visit millions of flowers this summer, and they will store, and if we're lucky, we'll get 3 to 4 gallons of honey out of this hive. So I hope that helped you guys, and if you have more questions, let us know. Thank you much.